Hi Saber fans, Scarecrow here with a quick instructional video for the KR Hero Saber. I'm just going to jump right into this. First thing we're going to address is access to the recharge port and the SD card. First thing you're going to want to do is unscrew the pommel and then take it. I normally use my pinky, hold the tri-ring with it, then take it, hit it on your palm. It'll bring it down to the end like that. And then all you have to do is give it a good jostle and it starts to come out. And you only need to pull it out far enough to access the recharge port if all you're doing is turning it on. Otherwise, you can pull it out ever so gently and you'll have access to your SD card here. Now, you're going to want to use tweezers. When you do this, the best thing to do is use the back end and get in there. Whoops. Helps if you hold it. Get in there, pop it, see it come out. When you put it back in, make sure it's over to the right and make sure you're not going under the board. There's a large slot here. It's the chassis was one size fits all for the sound cards, so it's got a large slot to accommodate the different sound cards and setups. But on the Crystal Focus, it's going to be to the right, and like I said, make sure it's in there. When you put it back, make sure you feel some spring, because otherwise you might be shoving it under the board into the chassis and it'll be lost forever, which we definitely don't want. So I have these gloves on. I can't pull this kill key with my fingers, so
I'm a Jedi, like my father before me.
Got your red power on so you know it's on. You can use twist kill keys in these, but I found that most of the time they want to snag, and honestly that scares me. It makes me think that it's going to do something to the inside of the recharge port, damage it, and then you have to go and rewire another one, etc., etc. So it's just easier to use these. They're secure. You don't have to worry about it turning on, etc. So once you do that, all you want to do is make sure that the recharge port's lined up with the tri-ring in the control box. And it's easy enough. There's a rail in here it'll be on, so just slide it in gently. Once you get down to the end, just use, here I'll use the vented pommel. Just use the pommel to continue pushing it in. You don't have to try to put your finger on it or anything, because that'll obviously damage the speaker. So just get that going, and at this point you are good to go. Now if you want to turn it on, the top's the activation, the bottom's the auxiliary. If this ever slides on you, just slide it back in the center. It's a balancing act with these things. So at this point, you probably want to see the crystal chamber, remove the grenade section. Okay, very important. Make sure that the chassis is fully inserted, the pommel's on before you do this. That way there's a screw in here that holds it in place when you unscrew so nothing's twisting up. The reason I have a 3.5mm jack here is so that you don't have to twist the wires up every time you remove it. But like I said, if the chassis is back, it won't lock. It can twist the chassis, possibly rip out all of the wires, or at least rip them in half, tear them out. It would do irreparable damage to the Saber. It'd have to be rewired at that point. But as long as it's put together, you're fine. All you have to do is unscrew it and give it a pull. There's a screw in here also that's set deep enough to catch, so you don't have to worry about pulling it out this way. So you're fine that way. Okay. And as far as blade goes, everything you want to do with this, you want to go clockwise. If you're inserting the blade, twist it clockwise. Your blade plug, clockwise. Taking it out, everything clockwise. This way, you're always tightening things down as opposed to going counterclockwise and loosening them up, which could loosen the LED assembly, the emitter, any of these pieces, and you just want to avoid that. I don't like using thread lock on these in case you ever do need to service it in the future. It just makes it more difficult. You damage the finish trying to break the thread lock free. So just clockwise and you'll be good. Same thing when you're doing that. You can put it back together, make sure the chassis is not pulled back and things like that. You can display it this way. You don't have to worry about any of the wires being stressed or anything. So if you want to display it like this, obviously anyway, you've got a full disconnect on the LEDs. So Same thing when you want to go to turn it off. You can do this, or say you want to turn it off for display and you don't want to have to go and reassemble it. You can do it. At this point, you have to be very, very gentle. Just push ever so slightly on this end, and then you can put your kill key back in it, slide it in, put your pommel on, and then set it up for display like so. So if you have any questions or if you need any more information about how to operate these, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll answer anything I possibly can. So hope this helps you out, and I hope you enjoy the sabers. Thanks.